This video is going to discuss the greatest integer function, which is also known as the step function or the floor function, and you'll see why when we talk about the graph. So let's start out by first introducing the function itself. So here's the notation for the greatest integer, f of x being the function, and we're going to define it as the greatest integer of x. So what that means is find the closest integer that is less than or equal to x. So as an example, if I wanted the greatest integer of 1.25, well, the closest integer that is smaller than or equal to 1.25 would be 1. Now what happens if we are given a negative value? In other words, if I wanted f of negative 3.21, which could be rewritten as the greatest integer of negative 3.21. Well, let's take a look at the graph of this greatest integer function and see if it will help us answer this question. So I went ahead and put a grid down, and let's say we're looking at this value. So here's 1.25 right there. So we know that the answer for the greatest integer of 1.25 is up here at 1. So then my function, as soon as I get to 2 though, the greatest integer that's less than or equal to 2 is 2. So that's not included in that piece. So now if I take a look at, say, 2.5, what's the greatest integer that is closest to 2.5 but still smaller or equal to 2.5? Well, the answer would be 2. So this piece would have a closed circle at x equals 2, y equals 2, and then it would come over, have an open circle at 3. And this could continue till you get what looks like open steps. So we'll come down here, put a closed at 0, and then we'll follow that pattern for the rest of the function. So now let's see if we can use this graph to help us answer the greatest integer of negative 3.21. Remember, it has to be smaller than or equal to this value. So negative 3.21 is about here. So I go down to the graph, and it turns out that the answer is negative 4. Because negative 4 is smaller than negative 3.21. A lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, it's negative 3. But negative 3 is right here. And that is larger because it's to the right of the value we're considering. That is the greatest integer function.